I'm Mackayla. Welcome to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. We're going to jump right in with the two hardest questions of all. Who are you and what have you been up to recently?
Hello, Mackayla. Do you say Mackayla or Mackayla?
Michaela.
Mackayla. That's how we say it as well. Here.
I mean, it is Irish, so.
Okay. Oh, well, then that's why we call you Mackayla. That's why you get called Mackayla.
Yep.
So my name is Tara Connaghan, and I am from the northwest of Ireland, a place called Glenties. It's right beside Northern Ireland, and probably more northern than Northern Ireland, but not in Northern Ireland. Just to confuse everybody. So yeah, what do I do?
Yeah, what have
I
you been up to
play.
recently and what have you been working on?
Oh, well, I'm a fiddle player. I play Irish music, and recently, in the last year and a half, I've started a project called sessionetiquette.com, which I thought I would write a book on performance anxiety, music performance anxiety,
Mhm.
and I asked one of my fiddle students, who's a retired doctor, if he would be my medical advisor, and he was like, "Yeah, no bother at all." I said, "But you know, actually, what we would really need a book on is etiquette in Irish music sessions, session etiquette," and I was like, "Oh God, no way. No, no way. I will never touch that vile subject. Never, ever, ever." And he kind of wore me down. He was like, "But you know, the reason why we have anxiety going into sessions is because we don't know enough. We don't
Mhm.
know any of the etiquette." So eventually I kind of came around to his way of thinking and said, "Okay." And so then I applied to the Arts Council for a funding to write the book. And then it was like, "Oh, you don't have enough written." And in that application, I had said, "But I'd like to like talk to loads of people. So it's not just about me. It's
Mhm.
my opinion. It's about the opinion of the community at large."
Yeah.
And I said, "So I'll be having lots of different conversations with lots of people from loads of different perspectives." And as a throwaway comment, I said, "And I'll release those as a podcast." And then that kind of took over my life. The podcast took over my life. I started with the podcast, and yeah, it
I know the
has.
feeling.
Yes, I adore it. I love the conversations like this, even. It's so
Hmm.
good. We get to have such great conversations.
It
So,
is. It's all the
yeah,
other stuff that's not as fun.
yeah. Well, I just took on an editor because that was the least fun bit for me.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit pedantic at it, so it was just taking too long. I had to stop.
That's
Hmm.
a good choice. I still haven't done that, but oh
Yeah.
well. I will at
That's
some point.
Well, you see, I have only 15 episodes released so far. 16 actually, just released my 16th a couple of days ago. So I started last July, which is what, 10 months or something
Yeah,
ago.
almost a year. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I have 62 recorded. So you can tell I really needed to get an editor on board. It was where I could find like there was a bottleneck just there because it was something that it's a bit like accounts,
Hmm.
things that you're really good at but you really dislike doing.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
That's,
I'm
I
really
mean,
good.
that
Yeah.
is how I feel with the editing, but
So I must say I can sigh and breathe since I only handed over the editing about 3 weeks ago. Took a while to kind of okay,
right.
it's my baby, but it actually took me a while because I really thought it was like, oh, this is the baby that I myself and whoever I've interviewed have kind of created, and I can't
Hmm.
hand it to somebody else to rear.
Yes, that's I've done this for 3 years now and it's still scary. I'm like, I've always thought about having an editor, but it's always something I'm like, but then I'm handing over all of that to somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah, it's like it's a lack of control.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think the trick is to give really granular explanation of what you want and do a couple of trial runs. And yeah, I still listen to it and I still do my own transcripts because most of the AI can't understand the Irish accent or some of the Irish language that we speak in the middle of it. So, we might kind of mention about a festival that's in the Irish language and you should see the funny the funny things that come out in the transcript. So I try and remove those. But then I upload them to it goes out it gets distributed, but Spotify and Apple just decide they dictate. I still can't change those transcripts. They want to
Oh,
use their own.
yep.
So apologies to anybody listening on Spotify or Apple because you have to access you can access them on my website, the proper transcripts, but you have to access them on Spotify or Apple. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the only thing with all the AI is that it's not a human like listening.
Yeah.
So it gets it wrong.
Hmm.
Maybe they need to train it with an Irish accent.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. There's probably just not enough Irish people yet. So yeah, they have to go where
Maybe
the
that could be
market is.
your next project.
I've enough yet. I still haven't written the book yet. I haven't written the book on session etiquette, so
So are you
that's the
still
next
working
phase.
on that?
Yes. I am. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes, kind of. I have maybe a few words written.
Well, I feel like writing a book from a podcast has got to be kind of hard.
It's probably not really because a lot of it will encompass some of the conversations that I've had, so with
Hmm.
people. So I could maybe even use the transcripts to kind of inform some of that as well. So then I'll have them all there and I'll go, right, who said what? And this might be nice to take that quote and this quote and maybe have a quote from each person or something that I've
Yeah.
interviewed so far, which would be kind of cool.
Is there one like overarching theme that you found that people have felt about session etiquette?
Um, yes. I think it's all, I mean, everybody's got a very similar opinion,
Hmm.
except it's ever so slightly different. It's a bit like how we play music, actually. You know, you're playing, in Irish music, we're all playing the same melody. And so there's no kind of counter melodies or harmonies. It's all the same one melody. But we all have a very slightly different variation as we're playing together. So some people might go, "Oh my God, what?" But that's, I mean, that's what you know, if you're sitting beside somebody in the session and they play something and you're like, oh, I love that wee note. They played a slightly different note. You're like, whoa, like that. I like that a lot. And you might encompass that the next time and they might hear something you do and you're like, and then you start bouncing kind of your different variations off each other. You know, you're kind of playing theirs and I'm playing you're playing theirs and they're playing yours. And
Hmm.
like it's so much fun. It's very, very subtle. But that's when you get to the real high level. It's really subtle. It's really cool.
That sounds just
Uh,
fascinating to listen to.
It is. But sorry, the one thing that everybody seems to kind of have is about respect for each other.
Hmm.
I mean, that's kind of it. And it's a team. I think people see the session as a team sport. So it's not necessarily where we all as individuals play like, oh, look, I can play this, or it's not a chance to show off
Right.
um for yourself. It's a chance to be with others and to share with others. So kind of teamwork, that's the main thing, I think.
What's your favorite part about being in a session?
It's the freedom because you're not on stage, so there's no pressure.
Hmm.
Like if and that's I don't mind being on stage, but for me, I just love being in a session because it is, that bouncing off each other. You've got the freedom. I mean, I would bounce off each other if I'm on stage too, if I'm playing a concert, because I do try to make it as close as possible to how I want to play in that given time with those given musicians and in front of that given audience,
Hmm.
because that all impacts what you're doing. But it's just you've got a slight bit of less pressure when you're in a session, um,
Right.
especially if you're not in a paid session. It's just a session among friends where you're like, oh, you just let loose.
Hmm.
You can be really giddy. Although I do tend to be giddy on stage too. So yeah, I mean, just if you're giddy, then you can be in flow. It's like
Hmm.
you're a child and you can play. There's no inhibitions. So yeah, that's what I like to do. Although in Irish music there are boundaries, so
Hmm.
it's like you're like I can visualize it in my head where you've got like this like like maybe sort of an alleyway or an alley like where you have a boundaries around you,
Yeah.
but you're trying to bounce the ball off the alley off the walls around you. So that's kind of how I feel. Like we're constantly trying to push the boundary ever so slightly, but just in a small way.
What got you started with playing the fiddle?
I started playing the guitar first. I was a
Hmm.
rock chick. I wanted to be a singer and and I played. Then I went on to the classical flute and the classical piano. And then I had a sister who was a year younger than me. She was starting to play the fiddle at the same time I started the guitar. So she was kind of t teaching me the little bits and pieces that she had
Hmm.
learned at the lessons. And then when she was 10, she passed away. She had a heart condition. So about a year after she passed away, because I was a year older than her. So when I was about 12, the local fiddle teacher asked my mum if she would sell her fiddle, which was quite risky, I suppose, after about a year after
Yeah.
she passed away. And I think maybe in his kind of haste of going, oh, sugar, what have I just, he probably saw her facial expression and said, oh my God, what have I just done? maybe Tara would like to take it up. So it was kind of like an afterthought, and she was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 I'll ask her." So I got quizzed to see would I take up the fiddle, and I was like, "Sure, what's another instrument? Yeah, I don't care." So I started doing it, and we started doing like the twinkle. It was the Suzuki method, and she had already taught me the first three or four whatever pieces, and so I went back to the start of the Suzuki method, which was like twinkle twinkle, and I think by week two I was like, "Are we doing something else here?" And he was like, and I said, if we're going to continue with this, I'm out. I'm out the door." So I said, just give me anything but this. I was like, even Irish music, anything. So it was kind of like see, I suppose maybe I'm open to, I like to, I call it the wild card.
Hmm.
And I've always been open to pick the wild card just to see. Sometimes the wild card can be totally the wrong choice. And then sometimes the wild card could be the absolute best choice ever.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like to pick the wild card. So it's just like anything, just Irish music, anything, just. And then about when I was about 16, one of my friends, Denise, she was playing the fiddle as well, and her dad would take us to some festivals, and he took us to one festival when we were about 16, and it just clicked. And we're like, oh my God, look at all these people having fun, and they're out till like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and
Hmm.
they're drinking and partying, and it's like, yeah, I could do this. So it was kind of, and then I got hooked totally. And before that, I was really lazy. Like, I mean, totally lazy. I wouldn't take out the fiddle once a week. I had a class once a week. I wouldn't even take it out of the case. I would put the tape in the car into the tape player. I would get my mother to drive the 30 seconds that it took from our house to the where the lesson was,
Hmm.
and that was my practice, was me listening to the thing for 30 seconds. And because I kind of discovered I had a good enough ear, so I was fooling myself, not fooling the teacher, but fooling myself, thinking, oh yeah, kind of half note. And I was kind of, a bit cocky. Yeah, kind of half note. And then when I was 16, I was like, I really wanted to learn more. And he knew I was hooked. Like, because I went up saying, oh, I had such a good time. Oh my God. And when you're so excited and you're
Hmm.
16, and well, most people don't get that excited when they're 16, but I was excited. I was very excited. And I said, I want to learn this tune or whatever. And it was actually a Cape Breton tune. Brenda Stubbert's was the name of it. Brenda Stubbert's Reel. It's a newly composed one, and I said I want to learn this tune. He said, "Oh, great! I'll get it for you. Yeah, no bother." And a week went past, and he still hadn't given it to me. I was like, "Oh, maybe he just hasn't had time to write it out or something." And then the following week, my friend Denise was playing the tune, and I was like, "Denise, where did how did you get that?" And she said, "Oh, Seamus, our music teacher, our fiddle teacher, Seamus gave it to me last week." And I was like, "What?" I mean, I was flabbergasted. How dare he? So I marched up to him going, Seamus, why didn't you give it to me? And he said, you don't practice.
Ooh.
I was like, oh. He said, when you practice, I'll give it to you. So I marched off, and I was gone for 2 weeks in a huff. But for 2 weeks, I spent the time focusing on learning it myself, and picking it up from the tunes. And that was it. Do you know what? It was a really good kick up the bum, because number one, it made me practice forever. Well, maybe not now, but um, it made me practice. It made me hungry, because before that I was lazy. So I needed a good boot up the bum to make me hungry, to make me want it. So it was kind of risky, but it was brilliant. Yeah, so and from there on, yeah, it was just, even when I went to college, and I did study music in college. I went to Cork, and there was loads of sessions. And I remember going into the sessions, and just was like, oh fuck, excuse my language.
It's okay.
I just said, oh shit, I don't know any of the tunes here, because I'm from the north of the country. The tunes in the south of the country are totally different. There's a totally
Hmm.
different repertoire. So like, oh my God, I have a lot to learn. So yeah, I think that was really a really defining moment in my music career, because I just said I'm on the back foot here
Hmm.
again. Like I felt I was a couple of years beforehand, when I wasn't practicing and the teacher gave me a kick up the bum. But I really felt I was in the back foot. I thought, I have probably like 25, maybe 50 tunes. Everybody else has hundreds of tunes. I am on it. I really need to catch up. So
Hmm.
I went on a spree. I think that spree has never really stopped of learning tunes. So anytime I'd learn a tune, hear a tune that I didn't know, I would get my tape recorder, tape it, or tape I would tape sessions, and then I'd just recreate it at home and play along and try and get them. And then from Cork to Donegal, there was a 10-hour journey on the
Hmm.
bus. So every time I went home for the weekend, I would have my tape recorder with my headphones or my Sony Discman, whatever, or Walkman, whatever, and I'd be listening to the sessions that I taped, and that's how I'd learn them. Then they'd kind of go into my head, so I'd know it, and then the fingers would kind of work it out.
Hmm.
So I think once you're more comfortable with your instrument, your fingers kind of just do their thing.
Do you have a favorite tune?
Yeah, I do have a favorite tune. It's lovely. It's a local tune to hear,
Hmm.
and it's just a version of an old sort of folk song. Yeah, it's just a nice little simple. I think the simpler the better now. I've gone back to being liking the simple ones. I used to kind of go into that's really elaborate and it uses all the strings and
Hmm.
you know, and I'm like just the ones that breathe and have lots of space and have so much beautiful rhythm. Those are my favorite now.
Yeah, it's music. I feel like your taste in music always is like ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. What's your favorite tune at the minute?
I don't know if I could pick one.
I know it's so hard, isn't it? Such a hard question.
It is. Yeah,
What's your favorite genre of music?
like pop rock music.
Yeah. I had to put a list of 10 tracks together recently of, defining moments in my life. And
Hmm.
that was really funny because, it's like, oh my God, there's like Europe and Bon Jovi in there, which I haven't listened to them for like, 40 something years. That's funny, but
Yeah, it's like it's interesting because they say that the music that you listen to in your teens is the music that sticks with you the most.
right. Yeah, I suppose, well, I did listen to Irish music as well, but I was a big rocker. I wanted to be yeah, I wanted to be. Did you ever see that film called Streets of Fire? You're probably too
No,
young.
I haven't, but I do know what it's about.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to be Ellen Aim. This is the main singer. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a singer, like a rock singer. And then I just like I could sing, but I could never sing like a lovely singer. So
Hmm.
I can sing in tune, but it's not like a singer's voice. So
Right.
yeah. I used to sing a lot when I was in my teens. I did sing quite a lot, and I played the guitar. I'd be really comfortable with the guitar, but frequently then I was getting to accompany other people to sing,
Hmm.
and I was thinking, nah, it's not what I want to do. Do you want to be an accompanist? So yeah, I kind of put the guitar away. Once I went to college, after first year, I never took the guitar out. Poor guitar and it's a nice guitar, and I can play the guitar, but
You haven't
yeah,
played it since then?
bits and pieces, like
Hmm.
not really. Yeah, if somebody asked me, if I could work something out, and play it for them, yes, I could do it, but I just don't have the interest.
Hmm.
I love watching others playing it, but it doesn't fill me with the same excitement, and I think you have to do what fills you with excitement.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be boring. You wouldn't want to
Exactly.
practice.
Exactly. You wouldn't want to just even play it. You just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
Have to do what makes you feel excited.
Right, because then it doesn't feel boring and it's not like it's not
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, exactly. What do you play?
I don't. I have a ukulele that I play every now and then.
Good.
I'm not very good at it.
You don't have to be good at it.
It's just
It's
it's
okay.
something I do for fun. I used to play piano for a while growing up because we had a piano in my parents' house. I could play, but I don't really play anymore. I was never
Good.
very
Well,
good, but
it's never too late.
eh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't own a piano, and the soundboard on their piano is cracked, so it's like
Okay.
3 notes off. So
I'm hearing lots of excuses here. You actually can get one of those ones that roll out onto your desk.
that's
I
true.
always thought that'd be kind of cool, although kind of hard to play too. But
Yeah, because you like the feeling of the keys is important, I feel like.
yeah, yeah. But you can get some fairly decent electric pianos that are not too expensive,
Hmm.
especially if you look on some of those sites that maybe people are want to get rid of stuff for buy and
Yeah.
sell sites.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to be a musician, but like I just didn't want to practice, so I was never good. Like I did
It
piano,
does.
and then
Yeah.
I tried drums, and I tried flute.
So we've got a lot of similar instruments in common. Yeah, I had no interest in the flute as well and the piano. I never practiced it. I just had no interest.
Yeah.
And I think it was only for the social side of things. And I had friends that were involved in the Irish music as well. It was the social side. It was like, oh my, yeah, I definitely want to have this fun. Like they're
Hmm.
having fun. They are having like lots of fun. And we had to go to bed because we were only 16. So they're like, no, no, you have to go to bed. You can't go out with them. I'm like, no. So I just couldn't wait. And it was away from my parents. It was kind of, it was that
Hmm.
coming of age and it was, this is my thing. This is
Yeah.
nothing that, because actually when I really started to get into the fiddle about, when I was 16 and that especially those 2 weeks when I was not going back to my fiddle class for a while when I was in a huff, I had, I would just recreate like a session in my bedroom. So I would have the speakers, I had, like a hi-fi with the CD player. And there's a band called Alton, and they're a local band they focus on fiddle music from Donegal,
Hmm.
this area. So they had loads of tunes that are really from this area. So I just wanted to learn all of those, and I would turn the hi-fi up like really, really loud. And my mother, the kitchen was below my bedroom, and she would bang on the ceiling, and she'd shout up, "You'd think you'd do something good like practice your piano." Which that just made me do the fiddle even more. Because it was like I am a bit of a
Hmm.
rebellious, or I was a bit of a rebellious teenager. Not overly, but slightly, So if somebody said, "Don't do that," and like, if I didn't think it made sense, then I would do the opposite.
I think that's most teenagers.
I don't know if I've ever grown out of that. Even when I was 6, my grandmother, we used to live my dad had a builder's providers. So he was a building contractor, and if he had some excess like blocks or cement or something, and there would be other local builders that would say, "Can I get a couple of bags of cement off you?" So he turned into a natural sort of builder's providers where people would come. So there was men all the time around, and I heard somebody whistling when I was young, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So he showed me how to whistle. I don't even know who it was. Can't remember. Some man. I know he showed me how to whistle, and I came running into my grandmother because we lived in the house with my grandmother too, and I said, "Granny, Granny, Granny, I can whistle, I can whistle." And I started going, I can't actually whistle now, but yeah. And she said, "Oh, girls shouldn't whistle. But the Virgin Mary cries." And I thought, what? What a load of BS. Even at 6 years of age, I was like, there's something wrong with that statement. Like that just doesn't make sense. So she said, you're not allowed to whistle. And so I swore to myself that I would whistle every single day for the rest of my life. And that's what I've done. So I'm a really good whistler.
Do you whistle every day still?
I whistle every day. I don't even notice I'm doing it. It's completely, I'm maybe cleaning the bathroom or washing the dishes or sending an email, and I'm just whistling constantly. So it probably drives my other half crazy. He's like, "Are you whistling again?" But I'm just if I'm driving, if I'm showering, whatever I'm doing, I'm always whistling.
You
I
really
remember
set your mind to it.
yeah, but then it just becomes second nature. You don't even
Hmm.
notice that you're doing it. So I'm not actually doing it anymore to be rebellious. I'm just doing it because it just, I don't even notice that I'm doing it. There was a friend of mine, her dad, he would have been an elder gentleman. He only died a couple of months ago, actually. And he would have been in his probably late 80s. And I remember she was we were moving into the same house or sharing a house. And I must have been cleaning or moving boxes and I was whistling away. And he just turned and goes, "Who's whistling?" And I was like, "Oh, it's me." And I was thinking, "Oh, he might not like it." But I think he was all right. But it was something kind of that he wasn't expecting a girl to be whistling. So, but yeah, I think it's acceptable now. But not many people whistle anymore, don't think.
I feel like it's not something that people do as much. You're right. Because everyone has their
Yeah,
headphones in.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just whistle. Even if I hear like something on the radio or something, it'll just whistle. I'll whistle whatever I just heard. It's just whatever little earworm is in my head, it will be whistled out. And I
Also,
have a happy
yeah.
tune as well. If I'm in an excited mode, I have a happy tune that only comes to my head when I'm completely excited about something. I don't even know what it is, but it comes to me like, oh, there's my happy tune, my
So do you
excited
do you
tune.
have a whistle for each mood?
I must have, but I don't even know. It's usually just whatever I've just heard from wherever, whatever source, be that on the phone or, maybe I heard a tune last Saturday night when I was playing in the session, or, it's just whatever might be lingering there.
Hmm.
There's no kind of rhyme or reason, but apart from when I'm really excited and then this little worm comes into my head, it's like, oh, here's your happy tune.
So everyone around you must be able to tell your mood based on your whistling.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I must ask now. Do you know which tune, which mood I'm in? Yeah.
It's easy for them.
Yeah, maybe not. So they have to listen to it. Well, the dogs don't mind. I have dogs and a cat.
I'm
Um,
sure they love the dogs seem to love whistling.
yeah, and my dogs love if I'm dancing. If
Hmm.
you're kind of trying to dance, they just get so excited. It's like, what? This isn't usual. What are you doing? Am I supposed to join you? And then they're jumping around, and I have two big retrievers, golden retrievers.
Oh, they must
Yeah,
get super excited. They must love that.
they do. They do. They're getting tired now. They're 9 now, so they're a little bit kind of older and they're kind of a
Hmm.
bit more relaxed and but yeah, they're still full of energy yet.
Before I ask the last question today, was there anything else you want to mention or talk about?
If anybody wants to go and listen to my podcast, I suppose it's called In Tune with Tradition: Perspectives on Session Etiquette and Irish Traditional Music. And the website for it is sessionetiquette.com. And there's loads of stuff on there. My podcast has also won some awards recently in New York. So I was
Oh,
over.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was over in March, just before St. Patrick's Day. I was nominated for 3 awards, and I got 5 awards.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I got 3 audience vote award and 2 judged awards, and there's another three. There is another three. Nominated for another 3 awards as well. The Shorty Awards, which is coming up in the middle of May, and I'll be over again to New York for that, and another award in New York, or not New York, sorry, in London next week. So
That's
it's a busy
awesome.
time. Yeah, it's a busy time.
That's super exciting.
Very exciting. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And Irish people have a little bit of a tendency to go, oh, they were just being nice. They didn't really mean to give. And I've got American friends going, no, we don't do that here. It's just you either deserve it or you don't. It's not
Yep.
kind of yeah, we're just kind of, oh, I wouldn't, oh, we just give it, because she's really nice. So we'll let her. We're just funny people here, a funny race. And there's a rule of 3 as well. If anybody's ever come to Ireland, you have to learn the rule of 3. So if somebody asks you, would you like a drink here in Ireland, you have to say, no, no, thank you very, very much. And they go, ah, you will. I don't know if you've ever seen Father Ted. Father Ted. Oh my God, if you haven't seen Father Ted, it is a really, really funny comedy series from the 80s. No, from the 90s, sorry. Um, yeah, from the mid to late 90s. It was done by Channel 4 in the UK, actually, because the Irish TV station wouldn't commission it. They said, oh God, no, oh, no, that's too dodgy. It is really, 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 really good. And it's almost like art, life imitating art
Hmm.
after it, because that existed. And then all the whole scandals about the clergy came out after this. It's like, oh, who's imitating who here? It's really, really good. But you'll see Mrs. Doyle is the tea lady, and so she's like, "Oh, you will, you will, you will, you will, you will." But that is actually how we are. So you're asked first, "Do you want a cup of tea?" No, 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 no. You're fine. Thank you so much. And then you say, "Ah, you will. You'll have a cup." Ah, not at all. No, no. And I say, oh, "Sure. Well, I'm putting one on." And oh, well, sure. If you're putting one on, I'll have one. So you can't say yes until the third time, until your third request. Yeah, so anyway, I have a tour as well. Well, it's not quite a tour. It is next year there will be tours. This year it is an experience, a 5-day experience as well, for anybody who wants to learn about sessions and how to behave in sessions in Ireland. So yeah, it's a very, very small, maximum 10 people, and I have almost about half already gone, half of that gone. That's in September. So that's very exciting. Can't
That'll
wait
be
for
fun.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in a 5-star castle
Ooh.
hotel as well. So it will be really, really different because nothing really exists like it in the country. So that's kind of cool.
So you're the first.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Uh-huh. And it'll feature myself and some of the guests from the podcast because of some of the high profile guests as well. So
That's really
my
cool.
podcast is kind of it's a at the moment it's all guests, but I will be doing a mix of some of my own episodes where I'll be talking about, about different things and how to be in act in a session and things like that. So because I have a questionnaire on my website,
Hmm.
sessionetiquette.com, and the questionnaire is for people to send in their questions about sessions, about Irish music sessions, or their challenges, or what they'd like to hear
Hmm.
in the podcast. So I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions. So I need to start addressing them. I only usually address like two questions with each guest. So it's going to take me years to get through them if I don't start. If I don't start tackling some of the questions myself. So that's the next phase of development of the podcast.
Okay.
Mm.
So our last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Oh, which part? Right. I think I have several soundtracky kind of ebbs and flows. Hmm. There was a phase where I love to hear really, really, really quiet music, a bit like almost like Baroque, not even Baroque, Ars Nova music, like music from the fourth or fifth century, that kind of
Hmm.
is it almost a bit like Shannon singing, Irish, very Irish language, unaccompanied singing, where it's just one melody and it's like the melody goes up and then it hangs and then it's like a roller coaster, it goes up and then it, that kind of pause where
Hmm.
it's like and then it falls. Oh my God, that is so cool. And so I'm thinking of David Lang, which is a classical composer. And it was called Just Your Voice, Just. I think maybe it's just called Just, and it was commissioned by I think somebody, one of the choral music societies in Ireland,
Hmm.
and it was oh wow amazing. But it was it was kind of the soundtrack of my life when I was in a very isolated place, I think.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say that would be my soundtrack of current, but that was one of the ones that stood out to me when I was doing my list recently. The current one. I think actually probably something from there's a band I play in called the She Fiddlers, and it's kind of like I've come home.
Hmm.
So it's all fiddle players, it's all female fiddle players from Donegal, from this area, 13 female fiddle players, the Baker's
Wow.
dozen. Yeah, actually, and the launch of that project when we had just done a concert, we said we'd do a concert with, female fiddle players. And we were gathering all the names. It's like, oh, we we'll just do eight. And it's like, oh, what about that? Oh, we need that person and that person and that person. And then the concert organizer, who was one of the a local festival, he said, "And we need to stop." Because I said, "Oh, we'll just have eight," and then I was like, "Oh, no, now we have 12." And he's like, enough." And I'm like, "Oh, well, we can't leave that person out." It's like, "Oh shit, now I've got 13." He said, that is it. There is no more money. That is it." And so we then invited everybody else to join us, all the other female fiddle players, for the last part of the concert, just the last couple of tunes at the end. And there was 39 or 49 musicians on stage at the same
Wow.
time. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd struggle to think of 49 or 39 male musicians in this area, like they play fiddle. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That sounds like it was a lot of fun.
It was, and the only thing is, it's really hard to get 13 female fiddlers together at the same time because we're all kind of professional musicians as well.
Hmm.
Mostly, no, not all, maybe about 10 of us are professional musicians as well. So, and the others maybe would still be kind of part-time professional,
Yeah.
but have day jobs as well. So yeah, it's always so much fun. We have a gig actually at the Fla, which is the All Ireland Fla. The Fla is like there's kind of competitions where you kind of start at your local county, then you
Hmm.
go to your kind of province or your kind of bigger area, and then there's the All of Ireland.
Yeah.
And people come, actually, they compete from Britain and America as well, different places, and then they come to the All Ireland as well. So the All Ireland is in Belfast this year for the first time ever. and we're playing one of the concerts as well at the Gig Rig
That's
on
awesome.
the 6th of August. So that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm
That's
very
really
keen.
cool.
Yeah, I love it. And they're just so lovely. It's really nice. It's cool. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's my soundtrack of them. Actually, the reason why that's one of my soundtracks is because we had a gig at the Temple Bar Trad Festival in Dublin
Mhm.
about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And in the sound checks earlier in the day, and we had been told we're going to play a tune from the Bothy Band because Trina O'Neill from the Bothy Band was there. The Bothy Band would have been a really, really iconic Irish music band from the 70s. They were, amazing musicians, and so one of them was joining us. So the female player who plays the harmonica or the keyboards,
Mhm.
um, she was joining us on stage for one or two tunes, and so they said, right, we'll play this particular track from the Bothy Band, which is a very iconic track as well. It's one of the opening tracks of one of their CDs, 1978 or something it's called, and it is rocking. I mean, it is, and she it's like dun 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 ba da da dee dun. And I had forgotten we were doing that, and I happened to when we were in the middle of the sound check, I didn't even see her coming on the stage. I must have been trying to fix my microphone or fix something, and I had my head down. And next thing they said, right, we'll try that track out. We'll try that set. And so I completely unaware of what we were doing, because my head was somewhere else. And next thing they started it, and the spikes at the back, the hairs at the back of your neck just stand up, going, "Oh my God, I'm playing in the Bothy Band." So yeah, playing with I mean, there's some of my favorite fiddle players in this band as well, and the she fiddlers. So it's just a dream to play with them. It's great. It really is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, for anyone who wants to stay updated on you, hear you play live, listen to your podcast, where can they find you?
You just look at sessionetiquette.com, or I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, just Tara Connaghan. Mostly I think it's my own personal. I'm just too lazy to have to set up because then I'd have to update them all, so it's just
Yep.
as handy. I do have a Facebook page for it, but I now know that it's much more hard work now to do the two. So
Hmm.
um
Yes, I can attest to that.
yeah, so just look for Tara Fiddle, or I think on Instagram I'm Tara Fiddle, on Facebook I'm Tara Connaghan, or if you look for In Tune with Tradition, you'll find me somewhere in there as well. So In Tune with Tradition on Spotify or Apple or anywhere you get anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts, Amazon, anywhere. It goes everywhere because it's listening. People have listened to it in 85 countries so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is crazy. But, actually, if you think about it, St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in, I think it's like 200 countries around the
Hmm.
world. I mean, they've no relation to Ireland whatsoever, most of them. But it's just hilarious. I mean, I think it's amazing.
It's crazy in
Um,
Boston.
it is, yeah, it's crazy. But like I was talking to somebody recently, and they were saying, "Oh, most people like, oh, they know it's St. Patrick's Day, or whatever. There's something happening, and they come out of work and they're like, we don't even know what it is, but we know we're gonna have a good time, so we're just going. It's like we've no idea what this is about, but but I'm trying to think of any other country around the world that gets their national holiday celebrated elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things like monuments turned green for St.
Hmm.
Patrick's Day around the world as well. So like there's rivers and monuments and the Sydney Opera House. I mean, it is hilarious. And I mean, if you can you think of any country in the world that doesn't have an Irish pub? I think there are three countries or something. It is just crazy. I mean, it's brilliant, but it's like, where did this fascination come from with Ireland and Irish music and Irish pubs? It's great.
People just like to have a good time, I think is what it is.
Maybe,
And it's
yeah.
an excuse to have a good time.
Well, if we provide an excuse to have a good time, well, isn't that great? I'm happy to be associated with that. Cool, cool.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Of course, have a nice rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.